Trail markers are sacred to rangers. They're how we keep people safe, guide them back when they're lost, prevent them from wandering into dangerous terrain. We maintain them religiously, check them monthly, GPS every single one. So when markers start appearing where they shouldn't be, pointing toward places that don't exist on any map, you know something fundamentally wrong is happening. My name is Sarah Blackfeather, and I'm a wilderness ranger in Yosemite National Park. My grandmother was Miwok, and she used to tell me about the Yohemite, the spirit people who lived in the valley before humans and who could walk between the world we see and the world that exists in the spaces between. They leave signs, she'd say, but following their signs means leaving ours. I didn't understand until September 2023 when I had to track down a hiker who'd followed trail markers that weren't ours. That shouldn't exist. That led to a place I can't find again, no matter how hard I try. Kevin Marsh, a 32-year-old solo backpacker from Oregon, had checked in at two alumni meadows with plans to hike the Ten Lakes Trail. When he didn't return 3 days later, we organized a search. His last known position from his GPS beacon was at coordinates 37.8923 Edigan, 119.4156 DG but that put him 2 miles off any established trail, in terrain so rough we don't even have routes through it. I volunteered for the night search shift. Most rangers avoid night searches in Yosemite backcountry. Too easy to get lost yourself, too many ways to get hurt. But I knew these mountains, or I thought I did. I started at his last GPS ping and immediately noticed something wrong. A trail marker, brand new reflective paint, standard National Park Service design, pointing deeper into the wilderness. But I'd helped maintain this section last month. There were no markers here. This was unmapped territory. I checked my GPS. According to every map we had, official and topographic, there was no trail in this direction. Just dense forest and granite cliffs. I keyed my radio. Base, this is Ranger 5-1. I'm finding trail markers at Kevin Marsh's last position, but they're not on any of our maps. Can you verify if there was recent trail work in grid 37N190W? Static, then dispatch. Negative 5-1, no authorized trail work in that grid for 6 months. What kind of markers are you seeing? Standard NPS reflective markers. Recent installation, but they're pointing toward unmapped terrain. Long pause. 5-1, stand by. Another pause. Then a different voice, Chief Ranger Morrison, who'd worked Yosemite for 30 years. Sarah, it's Tom. Don't follow those markers. I repeat, do not follow them. Return to base immediately. Chief, Kevin Marsh might have followed them. If he's out there, that's exactly why I'm telling you to come back. We've had reports before. Markers appearing after midnight, gone by morning. People who follow them. Some come back, some don't. The ones who do come back aren't quite right. My grandmother's warnings echoed in my head, but Kevin was out there, lost, maybe dying. I'm tracking him, I said. I'll be careful. I followed the markers. Each one was perfectly placed, perfectly maintained, looking exactly like ours. The spacing was right. The reflective paint caught my headlamp beam at the proper angle. Everything was correct except they shouldn't exist. The trail they marked was impossible too. It wound through terrain that should have been impassable. Granite cliffs that somehow had narrow paths carved into them. Dense thickets that opened into corridors just wide enough to walk through. Like someone had surgically created a path through wilderness that resisted all trails. After an hour, I checked my GPS. According to the satellites, I was in the middle of a cliff face, but I was walking on level ground, following well-marked trail. My compass spun uselessly, never settling on north. That's when I heard the singing. Female voice, wordless melody, coming from ahead. Not recorded, live, present, with the breathing and slight imperfections of a real person. But no one should be out here. No one could be out here. Hello, I called. Park Service, if you need assistance, call out. The singing stopped. Then Kevin Marsh stepped around a boulder, and I knew immediately something was wrong. His clothes were pristine despite 3 days in the wilderness. His face was clean-shaven when his permit photo showed a beard, and his eyes. They reflected my headlamp beam like an animal's eyes, showing a green eyeshine that humans don't have. Kevin Marsh, I said, hand moving to my radio. That was my name, he said. His voice had a strange quality, like multiple people speaking slightly out of sync. When I was in your world, Kevin, you're hypothermic, confused. Let me help you. I'm clearer than I've ever been. The markers showed me the real trail, the one that exists when the veil is thin. Between midnight and dawn, when your world and theirs overlap, the Yohemite open paths. They invite certain people to walk between. Another figure emerged from the darkness, a woman in 1970s hiking gear. Then a man in clothing that looked turn of the century. Then more, a dozen people from different eras, all with that same wrong eyeshine, all smiling with too many teeth. They've been marking trails for centuries, Kevin continued, leading people between. Some come back to recruit more. Most stay. It's beautiful there, Sarah. The real Yosemite, the one that existed before time, before geology, before physics, the valley as pure concept. This isn't real. You're experiencing psychosis from exposure. Touch a marker, one of the others said. Really touch it. Feel what it's made of. Against my better judgment, I did. The closest trail marker felt wrong under my fingers. The texture was wood, but wood that was still growing, still alive. And it was warm, pulsing with something like a heartbeat. I yanked my hand back and saw my fingerprints glowing on the marker where I'd touched it. The glow spread, pulsing, like the marker was absorbing my touch, learning me. Now you're marked too, Kevin said. You'll see the trails now. After midnight, when you're alone in the backcountry, you'll see markers that weren't there before. And one night you'll be curious enough to follow them all the way. No, I said, backing away, I'm leaving. You're all leaving with me. They laughed. The sound echoed wrong, coming from impossible directions, like the forest itself was laughing. We can't leave, Kevin said. We're part of the path now. We help maintain the markers, help them spread. Every person who touches one adds their essence to the trail. Eventually, there will be enough markers to make the path permanent. Then both worlds will merge, and everyone will see what we see. I ran, forgot protocol, forgot training, just turned and ran back the way I came. Behind me, the singing started again. Multiple voices now, harmonizing in ways human voices shouldn't be able to achieve. The markers guided me back. But as I ran, I swear I saw them moving, shifting positions slightly, leading me in directions that weren't quite the way I'd come. My GPS stayed useless, showing me in impossible locations. I burst out onto the 10 Lakes Trail at 4:47 a.m., just before dawn. My radio immediately crackled to life. 5-1, respond. We've lost your signal for 3 hours. What's your position? I'm back on 10 Lakes Trail, I gasped. But Kevin Marsh, I found him. He's not coming back. None of them are. The official search continued for another week. They found nothing. Kevin Marsh went into the files as lost, presumed dead. But I filed a second report with the Miwok cultural liaison. I described everything, the markers, the path, Kevin's transformation, the others who'd been taken over the years. The elder nodded like he'd heard it before. The Yohemite have always been here. They built the first trails in Yosemite long before humans. Most of their paths have faded, forgotten. But sometimes they remember. Sometimes they reach out, especially to those with the blood of the original people. They marked you because they recognized your grandmother's heritage in you. Here's what I didn't tell anyone. He was right. Now when I patrol backcountry after midnight, I see them. Trail markers that glow faintly in my peripheral vision, that vanish when I look directly at them. Trails branching off into darkness, marked with reflective tags that aren't there in daylight. Last week, I was doing a midnight welfare check on a campsite and found myself standing at a new junction. A perfect trail marker, still warm, pointing into unmapped forest. And I felt the pull, the curiosity, the desire to know where it leads. I turned back. But it's getting harder. If you hike Yosemite backcountry, stick to established trails. If you see trail markers in places that don't make sense, especially after midnight, Don't follow them. Don't touch them. Don't even look at them too long, because the Yohemite are patient. They've been marking trails for thousands of years, building paths between worlds one marker at a time. And everyone who touches a marker, everyone who follows even a little way becomes part of the path, part of the spread. Kevin Marsh followed the markers. Now he is one, maintaining them, moving them, marking new people. And someday soon there will be enough markers, enough touch people, enough merged paths that the barriers will fall completely. Then we'll all see where those trails really lead, whether we want to or not.